Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here, back again with another video. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content, and please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as well. So let's get into it. Everybody should know by now, Nikola Jokic, another MVP, back to back. And to be honest with you, I really don't understand it. Jokic is a good player. He's had a really good season. But, you're starting to see Jokic. This is his fourth really good season in a row. With nothing to show for it as far as playoff success, even extended playoff runs. They don't really have anything to show for it. The farthest they went was the conference finals in the bubble, and that was against the Lakers, right? But they really don't have a whole lot to show for it. And I think at this point right now, you can say Nikola Jokic is the best player on the Denver Nuggets, but he is not the most valuable, and he's not the most important player. And to me, in my opinion, that's Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was out this entire season. He missed the back half of last season, along with the playoffs as well. And in the last two playoff series that the Denver Nuggets have played without Jamal Murray, they are 1-8. They've won one game total without Jamal Murray. So that lets me know that he is much more important than Nikola Jokic is. And the reason why is because the NBA is a wing league, right? It's a guard and it's a wing league. Jamal Murray is a bigger point guard / shooting guard. He can do a lot of different things. He can pass the ball really well. He can drive it to the hole. He can finish. And he can shoot the ball really well, too. So his game fits into what the NBA is now. Now, Jokic, again, he had a really good season. I'm looking at his numbers right now. He had 27 points a game on 58% shooting, which is excellent. And almost 14 rebounds a game as well, with 8 assists a game. So he had a really good season. But I do not think his numbers translate to a whole lot of success for the Nuggets, a whole lot of playoff success for the Nuggets as well too. He's a guy, he does what he does, but he doesn't give you a whole lot on the defensive end. He is a bigger, slower player, so his the stats look good, but his impact out on the floor can only be felt to a certain degree because he cannot really give you anything on the defensive end, right? As far as pick and roll and stuff, he is very slow-footed. He's heavy-footed, so he cannot give you that dominance that you need on the defensive end, and he's not vertical as well, too, so he's not a shot blocker. He is big, really big, so he doesn't take that many charges as well, too. So, in comparison to who I think should have been MVP, Joel Embiid this year, 30.5 points per game, 50% shooting, almost 12 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block a game. And obviously, Joel Embiid's team, the Sixers, are doing better than the Denver Nuggets because the Denver Nuggets are at home. But the Sixers had a better season total in total. And Joel Embiid, his impact can be felt. Joel Embiid's numbers are good. They're great numbers, actually. But his impact can be felt. And, there have been several games this season where you watched the Sixers and you said nobody out there can guard Joel Embiid. His impact is being felt. His physical presence on the game is being felt. And there's nothing that anybody on the court can do about it. And that's the feeling that I get when I watch Embiid play. When he's healthy, when he is, has it together, and he's not suffering any injuries or anything like that. He's dominant. He's hard to stop. A lot of these teams were playing him how they used to play Shaq. They are getting all up on him physical, and he's either finishing or he's getting to the free throw line. And he is a really good free throw shooter for a big man as well too. So I think his dominance was felt throughout the league, pretty much every single game. And, he is the backbone for the Sixers. He is the best player on the Sixers. And unlike Jokic and, Murray in Denver, the Sixers don't have any of the success that they have now without Joel Embiid. He is the most important player because he is the most physical, dominating presence in the league right now. Aside from Giannis, he pretty much is the Shaq-like figure, who can dominate a game. And I do think that he should have won MVP this year. I really do. Considering everything that happened with the Ben Simmons trade and all of the turmoil that was going on around the team, the rest of the team pretty much rallied around Joel Embiid, and they are in a position now. They're tied up 2-2, going back to Miami, and we'll see what happens going forward. It's going to be a very entertaining, best of 3 going forward for this series, the Heat and the Sixers. But I think Embiid, even he was out game 1 and game 2 in this series. He came back game 3 and 4, and the team rallied around him. He is by far the most important player, the most dominant player. And like I said, when he's on and when he is ready to go, and he doesn't really have nagging injuries and stuff like that, he is unstoppable. And you have to, as a team, you have to adjust to the way that the Sixers play. You have to adjust to the way that Joel Embiid is playing, especially when he's dominating. Your team has to adjust to the way the Sixers play. And I don't think, watching the Nuggets, all of the other teams don't really adjust to the way that the Nuggets are playing. Jokic gets his numbers, and he does a lot of good things on the court, but teams are not adjusting because Jokic is not dominating. He's not dominating physically. He's very skilled. He has a lot of moves in the post and stuff, but to me, he does spend a little bit too much time out on the perimeter. Especially him being as big as he is, as slow as he does spend too much time on the perimeter. And I don't think that he is capable of dominating the same way that Embiid dominates. So the MVP should have went to Joel Embiid, in my opinion. But the NBA voters are, at this point, it's a little bit of a joke. This is the Steve Nash thing all over again. Everybody is now getting 2 MVPs. It seems like they don't want to keep giving the MVP to Giannis. Giannis was excellent, amazing, just like how he was the past 2 seasons as well too. So he was in the talk around MVP. I think Chris Paul had a great year. The Suns' best record in the league. Devin Booker had a great year. There were a bunch of guys in the league, who were talented, who had fantastic seasons, and their teams also had fantastic team success as well too. But they gave it to Jokic. They won 1 game in the first round. They were out after that, and they were a 6 seed. And I don't know, man. I don't know. The numbers look good. They're great, but the domination is not there from a player that big. It's just not. He's not as dominating physically as you would like him to be. Like I said, too much time on the perimeter. But I'm not gonna hate. Congratulations to him, but I think he is holding Joel Embiid's award for him right now. I honestly do, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. The NBA writers and the voting and all that stuff is such a joke. Everybody has their own narrative and stuff, and nobody is looking at who the best player is throughout the season. It's all narrative based, and it's ridiculous. This reminds me of the Steve Nash thing, where he was holding Kobe's MVPs. But hey, like I said, that's the way that the NBA writers handle their businesses, the way that they vote. They get on TV, they get on ESPN, and they talk about how biased and how narrative based that they are, and they are not looking at every player who was in the conversation. They're not looking at them objectively. They are looking at every single player as far as the narrative goes, and it's stupid and it doesn't make sense. But that's the way that the NBA, chooses to let the biased journalists, decide the awards and stuff. So, but hey, it is what it is. Congrats to Joker. He was deserving, but I think there were people who were more deserving. But that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. Just wanted to cover this real quick. I know it's been a while since I did some NBA stuff, but just ridiculous to me. Just ridiculous. But hey, it is what it is. Still gonna enjoy the playoffs, and hopefully Embiid and the Sixers can pull it together and get to the conference finals. I think that will be big for the league. The ratings will be there. The interest is there, and whoever they end up playing will be a good series. So, but that's all I got for this video, guys. Like I said, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up. That's all I got for today, guys, and I'll see you later.